For you guys that subscribed to this channel back when it was mostly just about goats and pigs and redneck homesteading and poor man getting by kind of thing, I used to make a lot of videos about soil. Of course, my divorce has shifted the thought process of my life quite substantially to where I needed to use this to heal my broken heart and all those things. My broken life, really. But anyway, getting better. Got to move on with some chores here. I feed my pigs quite a bit of green matter from a bag mower. And this hill I've showed a few times where this was put here with a dozer. Dump truck and a dozer. This, I don't know, 8 feet high, 9 feet high. The tires aren't trash. The tires are actually, there's a drainage right here. When I run a hot wire fence over, if the tires weren't there, the goats would go under, and a tire doesn't really arc. They will arc if you have a hot wire laying right on them, but they got a pretty high insulation value, so they don't generally arc on the ground. But yeah, every time I never move them stupid tires because I need them there all the time, but anytime I graze this, the tires are for that purpose. And then every time I take a video of it, I'm like, oh, it looks like I got trash all over my yard. And that slab of stone there, and there's some slabs of stone here. Number one, them goats like to lay on top of them, whether it's because they're cool or warm, I don't know. And the other is that when I keep them in here for winter confinement, the ground gets so covered in manure that you don't want to be feeding them on the ground because they'll pick up worms. So that's like a table. It's like a dinner table. I'll put some feed on there. I'll put some feed on there. I'll put some feed on there. And, you know, the rain will always wash the manure off of them concrete stones. So, or cinder block is what it really is. So it all looks like garbage, but it's not. It actually all has a purpose. That's why it's all sitting here. But the point of the story was when you're thinking about wasted hay, people put bale rings and do all kinds of things so that every little scrap of hay gets ate, because in your head you're saying, gee, I paid for that hay. I don't want it to not get eaten. Well, that's my little hay shed right there. That slot is the second story. So underneath is like a little goat barn. That's like the delivery room where the nannies will stay in the winter so that they can kid and not be, you know, ice pops when I find them. And then the second story is where I've always put loose hay. Nowadays I buy a round bale, but for a while I was cutting my own hay, drying it and storing it up there. Not baled, just pitchforked it in. But I've always fed hay out on this hill, and obviously the seed and the cover rolls out on this hill. Well, look how thick it grows in. Now I've cut it with that mower, and the mower will barely get through it because that grass is as thick as you can possibly imagine, to where it stalls a mower if you go into it. You have to ride a wheelie into it. You can't just push in straight. It'll shut the mower off because it's so dang thick. So your hay is not really getting wasted when you spread it around. Now this ground was the same as that hill. That hill is all gasifier wood chips and gravels, but it will decompose into a high carbon organic matter that, I mean, that's for a different area. It's piled up for storage. I need to level a certain section, but it will decompose into a very high quality organic matter. And once you put hay on it, it'll seed itself and it'll look like this. So don't start thinking a bale ring is a good idea. It's not. They make compaction. They make where your animals don't graze other areas. They do all kinds of problems. And they make it where your nutrients aren't getting spread out. Your manure, your urine is not getting spread out. You want that stuff spread out. So I've mowed this up, and now I'm going to go dump that into the pigs, and they'll get their grain later on tonight, but this is breakfast.